What's good, everybody? Welcome to K&J Studios. It's your boy Jay.
It's your girl Kaya.
And today we got Snake Eyes news.
Yes, we do. Did not know there is an upcoming Snake Eyes movie called the Snake Eyes G.I. Joe Origins movie. So it's basically like a Snake Eyes movie. We'll be getting that. It was announced. I personally didn't hear about it. Usually you hear like they're making a movie. It's been confirmed. Hey, they're making this movie and people hype it up. I did not even know. I didn't see until they officially released the new poster that they have. And so
people just don't care about G.I. After those two movies, people don't really care about them.
And apparently there was a third movie that nobody even talked about at all. I had no idea there was a third one. So we'll get into that, the release dates, all that good stuff, and why people are actually upset about this new movie and all their complaints. We're gonna get into that in this video, so stay tuned to all of that.
So everybody, Snake Eyes will be unmasked as the one and only Henry Golding in the new movie Snake Eyes G.I. Joe Origins. So it looks to me like they're going to be taking an approach sort of like what they did with X-Men First Class, or like what they did with X-Men Origins with Wolverine, taking you a little bit farther back into his origin story, doing a similar thing with Snake Eyes. So this movie will be a spin-off. Most likely this won't be the only spin-off. We're most likely going to see other spin-offs. But Snake Eyes is a good one to start off with, just because his history is so clouded in mystery that it makes for an interesting storyline for people who are G.I. Joe fans. If you're not a G.I. Joe fan, it'll be a good watch. But if you're a G.I. Joe fan, this will be, whether it's an idea or a concept that you like or not, this is still going to be something that you're gonna want to see. Mainly for G.I. Joe is more so of 80s, 90s, like it was really big in the 80s, 90s, early 2000s. So it's for the younger generation, all you really know about G.I. Joe is what you saw in the movies, and a lot of people weren't too impressed. The toys of that time were iconic.
Oh,
the G.I. Joe toys, I had all of them now. Like the movies weren't great, but the toys were like those were like, toys aren't even as good as good now as they were back then. But you had all the parts and the pieces and everything like that. I had a Snake Eyes toy, I had a Storm Shadow toy, I had pretty much all of the G.I. Joes from that movie.
Because to be honest, like the movie came out when I was about in elementary school anyway. So
we're
like
young.
For me, I liked the movie. I enjoyed it. That's how I became a big fan of Snake Eyes. I was like, that's my favorite character right there. So he was my favorite character. But now that I'm older, I realize that people actually hated
that movie. Those movies did bad.
Yeah, I didn't realize how bad they did. And so I guess that'll lead us into later why people are so upset about this movie. I know back even then they're talking about doing a Snake Eyes movie, and it just kind of held out. It just never happened. So I expected to see one, and it just kind of like disappeared. Nobody talked about it anymore, like doing a movie on it. But now years and years later, here it is right here, and people are pissed off. So
and there are reasons. They have really good, valid reasons. So Paramount Pictures plans to release this movie on October 22nd of 2021. So it seems like I'm not sure what's in the October docket. I think if October gets pretty loaded with movies, this one will fall short of the box office that they plan to reach.
Marvel movies and stuff coming around the same
so much
time.
coming out. We have to see what's scheduled to be released in October. Hopefully they chose a month that won't be crowded with too many other, because this movie will fall short. I promise you that, especially with a lot of the opinions that people have about Snake Eyes. Now, the other characters that we will see in the Snake Eyes movies is obviously his counterpart or his arch nemesis, Storm Shadow. I like the Storm Shadow casting. I do like who they got because I've seen him before. And he definitely fits the martial arts aspect of what's required for the role. But I did like the old Storm Shadow. I like that casting that they had for Storm Shadow last time. He did an awesome job. I think that he would have been a good person to reprise for this series. But I guess not. You know, that was a long time ago. He's a little bit older now. You know, Andre Koji, I believe his name is. I think he's gonna do a great job with Storm Shadow. It's just that I really like the old.
He's probably a little bit older now. He's
a lot older now. And Scarlet and Baroness. Now, what did confuse me is they changed Baroness, so that kind of had me a little confused. Only because like we know Baroness, her relationship to Duke, so it's kind of it's a look like they changed some things, and I see why they did it. I understand why they did it. Henry Golding, I don't think was a great pick. I like him as an actor. I enjoyed him in Crazy Rich Asians. I love him as an actor. But fact of the matter is that he's not proven in this area.
Yeah, this would be uncharted territory. I mean, that level of acting, especially for a character like Snake Eyes.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It takes a special person to be able to play a martial arts role, a primary action movie role. It takes a special actor. You can't just take somebody who's a great actor and tell him, hey, be a great action movie star, or be Snake Eyes. Because Snake Eyes, if you watch like the cartoons, the animated movies, if you read the comic books, Snake Eyes was brutal.
Yeah,
Snake Eyes. He there was a scene where he was fighting Storm Shadow, and Storm Shadow went to go stab him. He stuck his hand up, Storm Shadow was a savage, and even like, knowing the kind of actor that he is, I don't know if he'll be able to bring that out. Like, bring out that sort of like aggressive, savage nature of who Snake Eyes is. I don't know if he has that in him. The other characters that I see here, they have the ability to do that. They've played roles like that. They have that kind of depth. I don't think that he's ever done anything like this before, especially with fighting scenes. Like, fighting scenes are really, like, even when you watch a lot of action movie stars in their first, unless you're talking about like the Jackie Chans and the Bruce Lees, where they're actually trained in that area, I guess, or in that choreography, it's really hard to pick up. With a character like Snake Eyes, who's literally, his whole character is built off of his brutal fighting style, and the finesse and like and everything like that. Like, I don't know.
I would say if he has a background in martial arts and stuff like that already, he's a bit ahead. So in that way, if he has that background experience, then he should be okay. But if he's going in there with no experience at all with anything like that, then I would say it's gonna be hard for him.
And a lot of people were upset about identity politics. It's one thing that came up a lot, where they're saying you change Storm Shadow because they're in Japan. The setting is Japan, and they made, and Henry Golding, we all know, is Malaysian. He's not Japanese. So we're seeing sort of the same idea, except in the comics, and even in the G.I. Joe movies, Snake Eyes is a white male, blonde hair, blue eyes. And he's adopted by the clan that Storm Shadow is a part of, and he's taught, how to become a ninja. And so people are looking at it like, well, it's identity politics that you changed him from a white person to an Asian. And usually that's usually where we're at, where it's like, okay, we feel like those characters should not be appropriated the way that they are. Like, when you take an Asian character and you make them white, or you take a black character and you make them white, and we see that a lot in entertainment. But the reason why I can't agree this time, why I can agree this time, is because the character was originally white. It's not like the character was originally Japanese or Malaysian and it was changed to white. The character was created to be white. And it had that sort of effect, and it had an effect on the storyline, because he's a white guy coming into an Asian community. And he gets all of the secrets and the fighting styles that Storm Shadow doesn't get. So Storm Shadow looks at him like, it's like, yeah, he's my adoptive brother. But I'm actually, this is actually my culture. This is actually who I am. But he's getting all the secret fighting styles that I can't get, and that's what creates the issue between the two. I think you sort of take away the depth of character when you're doing it this way. Like I said, if they had changed the character from Asian to white, that's different. But the character was originally created white, so I feel like if you want to stay true to the actual character, you would stay true to what he looks like as well.
And I was thinking, at first I was just kind of like, well, I don't really mind that much, because, I'm all for more Asian representation and stuff like that. So, I mean, I feel like I think that also might be, especially now, in society where they're really trying to, I guess, like, diversify. Yeah. So I think that might be a reason why.
I agree in that aspect.
Yeah, but I think that's what a lot of people are getting a little bit upset about, is that they're using that to kind of push, and that's really, I mean.
And even still, it doesn't mean that they still can't go that direction with that storyline, because keep in mind, he's still Malaysian. He's not Japanese. It's just that they're both Asian now, as opposed to one being white and one being Asian. There's still the issue there between, you're coming from a different culture, this is my culture, and you're getting more of my culture than I am. So I see how the storyline fits. But I also understand where people are like, this the original character, the Storm Shadow that I know in the comics, this is not what we're seeing. Right. That's not what we're gonna see in this movie.
Yeah, especially because it's in the comics and stuff like that. That's what, especially a lot of people who are fans of G.I. Joe, that's what they know. That's like the character that they come to. You know, it's different if you have a character that isn't that developed and stuff like that. You take a character, you kind of change them in that way. Then okay, then not many people are gonna be mad about that. But you have a character that's already been developed over a long period of time. That's already
a character that's beloved. And when you think of G.I. Joe, you don't think of Duke. You think you don't think of Scarlet. You don't think of Storm Shadow. You think of Snake Eyes. Snake Eyes is the face of G.I. Joe.
And even still, you don't really even see his face. It's just more so
about
how
the mystique.
Right.
It's the mystique, and I feel like, and that's part of another issue that I had is I feel like they unmasked him too early publicly.
Exactly, the unmasking.
What we know of Storm Shadow is the mask, and when we see Henry Golding's face instead of the Snake Eyes mask on the cover, it's showing us that we're not getting the Snake Eyes that we know and love. And I think that's part of another problem that people have is Storm Shadow there's a lot of mystery, there's a lot of mystique. I think that they could have waited to show his face, and I feel like like I said, since we're seeing it on the cover that his face is exposed. Right. What that tells me is that his face is going to be exposed throughout the movie. Right. And I know, like, and from seeing that, that's how I know that the storyline that we see in the comics is not going to be the same. I'll tell you this right now. I'll bet all my money that the Storm Shadow, that the Snake Eyes that we see in the comics, the Snake Eyes that we see in the animated movies, will not be the Snake Eyes that we see in this movie.
I also agree with what you said too. It just kind of takes away from his character. Yeah. I know that they said that his face was covered up because of a scar.
Yeah, damage.
So I was thinking maybe this is before the accident, but at the same time, it's just kind of like, it still bothers me that they've done that. You know, unmasked them and stuff like that.
I just think it was too early. Right, I think it was way too early. I mean, we know, and even then, this, like I said, the storyline of behind the mask and behind the why he doesn't speak and different things like that. Right. Especially since it's so far in his adulthood. Like, people don't realize Henry Golding isn't young. He's in his mid-30s. Yeah. So if we're seeing Snake Eyes at this point, now keep in mind he also had the insignia on his shoulder. What that tells me is how it makes me ask the question: okay, how old were you when you became a G.I. Joe? Right. How far in the future does Duke arrive? Like, there's a lot of it sort of jacks up the storyline as well, as far as why are you still unmasked so late in your life? Right. When we know that he was recruited relatively early. So there's some issues. There's some issues. Here's the movie description as far as what they say the movie is going to be about. Snake Eyes G.I. Joe Origins stars Henry Golding as Snake Eyes, a tenacious loner who is welcomed into ancient Japanese clan called the Arashikage after saving the life of their heir apparent, which I'm assuming is Storm Shadow. Right. Upon arrival in Japan, the Arashikage teach Snake Eyes the ways of the ninja warrior while also providing something he's been longing for, a home. But when secrets from his past are revealed, Snake Eyes' honor and allegiance will be tested, even if that means losing the trust of those closest to him. Yeah, like I said, it's you know, we saw a different backstory even in the G.I. Joe movie where he was found because he got caught stealing. Right. And so that's now we have 3 different storylines of Snake Eyes' origin story that don't really make too much sense. Yeah, like it's a very vague description. It's not really telling us exactly what's going on. They really glossed over it very well. So it's really hard to see what exactly we're gonna get from this. Like, I'm sure this couldn't have been a way to try to hype people up about the movie, because it's just so not like exciting. Vague. Yeah, it's not. I think this. I'm not sure. I can't say whether this is going to be a good movie or not. I haven't seen the trailer yet, but I'm going to tell you this right now for G.I. Joe fans: this will not be the Snake Eyes that you're familiar with. Yeah, I promise you it won't. This is most likely going to be, if you're going to watch the movie, don't watch it from the vantage point of trying to see G.I. Joe in this movie. If you're trying to do that, you are going to be disappointed. Right. Well, other shows that are going to be dropping in April on Paramount Plus to close out. Top Gun Maverick, Mission Impossible 7 and 8, and Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, so we got a couple movies coming to Paramount Plus. So if you don't have it, get it, because I mean they come with that fire as well.
And not to mention, Avatar Studios is going to be
on Paramount
streaming
Plus.
through Paramount Plus. So you got
also
to
Star
get
Trek
ready.
Discovery fans like me, they also coming up with another season very soon.
I like the old Star Trek.
Anyway, but yeah, we're also gonna be reacting to the trailer because the trailer did drop today, I believe. So we're gonna be reacting to that, but the video won't come out until tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. If you're not subscribed, subscribe. If you're a new subscriber, comment down below that you're a new subscriber so we can shout you guys out. Because we have been getting a few more subscribers, but we need to shout y'all out. So let us shout you out.
Follow, share,
for real.
Post us.
Yeah, follow our social media.
We're here, people. We're here.
Like, comment, and subscribe. Follow our social medias, and we'll see you guys in the reaction video
Post
or
a
in another video. See you
thumbnail.
next video.